Welcome to today's deep dive. So, why do people overwhelmingly say Friday is their favorite day of the week? I mean, you still have to wake up early, you still have to sit in traffic.
Right, and you're still working all day.
Exactly, it's just a normal work day.
But, the joy of Friday has almost nothing to do with Friday itself. It's all about the expectation of tomorrow, the weekend.
Oh, right. That certainty is what makes today's labor actually bearable.
Yeah, even joyful, really.
So our emotions today are completely anchored to our expectations for tomorrow, which is actually the core of the deep dive we are doing today into a pretty fascinating sermon analysis.
Based on 1 Corinthians 15, right?
Yeah. We're looking at the Apostle Paul's argument about the resurrection, and we're asking this radical question of, well, what happens to today if that ultimate tomorrow is just completely canceled?
And to make his point, Paul does something really interesting here. He essentially holds up his absolute certainty of the resurrection, but then he pivots to explore the dark what if.
Right. Like, what if there is no future?
Exactly.
I mean, think of it like complaining to a friend about how miserable it is to walk everywhere in the rain while literally holding a brand new driver's license in your hand.
Right, you have the license, but you're mapping out how awful life would be if you had actually failed the test.
It's a brilliant rhetorical strategy.
It really is, and it exposes the stakes. He's showing that without a guaranteed future, three major parts of human life just, collapse into total meaninglessness, starting with the rituals people practice.
And the historical context here is wild. The Corinthian church was apparently baptizing people on behalf of dead relatives.
They were, yeah. Now, Paul wasn't endorsing this, obviously.
Right, he was actually calling out their hypocrisy.
Exactly. You had people in this community denying the afterlife, yet they were still performing these proxy baptisms. Paul is just asking the obvious question here.
Why do it at all?
Right. Why go through a ritual symbolizing a future resurrection for your loved ones if you fundamentally believe they just cease to exist?
It turns a spiritual practice into just like an empty, useless performance.
Totally. And it's one thing to waste a Saturday on a useless water ritual, but Paul takes the stakes much higher.
He points to his own life, right? Saying he is literally fighting wild beasts in Ephesus.
Right, which were his human enemies. Think about the sheer physical and emotional toll that took. Paul faced daily persecution, riots.
The constant threat of execution.
Exactly. If the physical body has no eternal future, sacrificing it for a message is just, it's a tragic waste. Enduring that kind of trauma only makes logical sense if there is a tomorrow that justifies the suffering today.
Okay, but here's where I struggle a bit. Even if you strip away the afterlife, couldn't someone just choose to be a good moral person for the sake of society?
Like, why does morality require an eternal tomorrow?
Exactly. It doesn't seem strictly necessary.
And that sounds very reasonable to our modern ears. But if you follow the logic all the way down, you hit a wall. Paul quotes the ancient prophet Isaiah saying, "Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die."
Ah, I see.
The underlying mechanism there is that without ultimate future accountability, indulging in immediate gratification is actually the most rational choice.
Because if there's no final reckoning, suppressing your desires for the sake of abstract goodness just puts you at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
So if you strip away any ultimate accountability, the most logical thing you can do today is just cut corners to get ahead.
Which brings up a fascinating modern parallel that the analysis points out, the prosperity gospel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When you stop believing in a cosmic tomorrow, your brain naturally tries to extract all the divine benefits right now, today.
Faith devolves from a long-term ethical transformation into like a short-term transaction.
Right. Religion just becomes this lucky charm or a psychological healing center purely for earthly success.
Like growing a business or getting your kids into an elite college.
While completely ignoring actual ethical living, yeah.
So how do you know if you've fallen into this trap? I imagine the biggest red flags wouldn't be theoretical, but to be practical things.
Oh, definitely. The analysis gives some specific symptoms. Things like compromising your integrity at work just to avoid a financial loss.
Or, letting anxiety over your retirement funds completely override your spiritual peace.
Those are the exact diagnostic markers. When preserving your immediate financial comfort trumps your ethical standards, your functional belief in tomorrow has just completely faded.
You're living purely for today.
Right.
But a genuine belief in tomorrow doesn't make you ignore today. It forces you to live today with absolute integrity and purpose.
Because you know that what you do today actually echoes into that tomorrow.
It gives the present moment its profound weight. So as we wrap up this deep dive, consider this.
It's a tough question for you to mull over.
It really is. If a complete stranger could only look at your daily calendar and your bank statements, what would they assume you believe about tomorrow?